Now, for the last few years, we have followed the story of the three dads, Andy, Mike and Tim, who have been fundraising in memory of their daughters who took their own lives.
And for their latest challenge, they're going to walk from Stirling to Norwich. And they're going to have a conversation along the way with some of those who they've helped change the conversation about suicide with since they started raising awareness. Well, our reporter Alison Freeman is in Stirling for us this morning. Morning, Alison.
Yeah, good morning, Sally. The crowd are here. Give us a cheer. Yay! Getting ready for the three dads doing their third challenge, which is all about change. The way the conversation around suicide has changed since they started their campaigning, and also the way that Papyrus has been able to speed up its expansion and help even more people. Here they are, the guys, the three dads. Morning. Morning. We're going to be speaking to them in a moment. But first, I caught up with some of the people that the dad's work has helped to help. Lucy was just 14 when her best friend took her own life.
Understandably, that sort of spiralled into depression, anxiety. Yeah, and I have experienced suicidal thoughts, which is obviously the worst point that I've ever been at. And it's tough, it's really tough to get out of. But I think being on the receiving end, you know, having lost someone to suicide, I know exactly how it feels. So when I was in that really low point, I suddenly thought, you know, every death has a ripple effect. And if I go ahead with this, I'll just create 100 more me's.
The York University student is now 20, and in the years since her loss, she says it's become far easier to reach out for help and speak about suicide.
I mean, I know for me personally, I've never seen anything about suicide on the news until the three dads.
So, do you think the dads have helped to change the way we talk about suicide?
100%. Like, my friends have seen them on the news before or seen them online, and they'll be like, oh, did you know about these three dads that are doing a big walk? Oh, do you know what it's for? And then people almost have started having open conversations about their mental health because of the three dads.
Right, let's stride as though we mean it. Okay. Like three old men.
Andy, Mike and Tim have been campaigning for more than 3 years now and walked almost 1,000 miles. Today, they start their latest challenge, highlighting not only the risk suicide poses to young people, but also the change that's happened since they started walking and talking.
We believe in what we're doing absolutely passionately, that we can stop more young people, more people taking their own lives.
Brought together by the deaths of their daughters who each took their own lives, they first set out in 2021. Raising awareness that suicide is the biggest killer of under 35s, as well as funds for the suicide prevention charity Papyrus.
Suicide isn't inevitable, that there are ways to reach out.
Three dads are still here and we'll keep campaigning.
In 2022, they walked between all 4 UK parliaments, calling for suicide prevention to be a compulsory subject in schools. Since then, they've met ministers, sparked a parliamentary debate on suicide prevention education, and even been to number 10 to see the Prime Minister.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you all? Andy,
Okay.
I'm Rishi. Very nice to see you. Welcome to Downing Street.
Their message has reached so many people. Gareth and his wife Nikki ran a guest house in Cumbria. She took her own life in 2021 after struggling with the menopause. The loss led him to also contemplate suicide.
I got very, very close. And I found myself one evening with the opportunity. Everything was there. That was South Africa. We found this lovely little bar restaurant over.
Fortunately, Gareth reached out for support. He had help from the local suicide bereavement charity Every Life Matters and spoke to the Samaritans in his darkest moments. And then he heard that Andy, Mike and Tim were walking close to his home.
I just thought, I've got to go and talk to these guys. I'll never forget Andy and the other dads for just listening to me on the side of a hill in the middle of nowhere.
So what is it that you think that the three dads gave you?
Hope. Life. And I think that's what I've seen from the three dads. You can live with it. It's not nice, but you've got to live with it, because the other option isn't worth anything.
The landscape is beginning to change, and I think a lot of that is due to what the dads have been doing. They have given people permission to talk about suicidal thoughts, and we also know that talking about suicide saves lives. We need to be talking about the S word. It can't be the S word anymore. It's suicide.
Do you feel like your future is bright?
I do now, yeah. I finally got to a place where I'm starting to love myself and, you know, work out what I want out of life, and actually you can't be held back by, you know, loss and grief and stuff. And again, the three dads doing their walk to raise so much money, it just makes you realise that there's more to life than just, you know, crying in bed all the time. You can actually get out and do things and make a difference.
Well, here I am joined by the three dads. We've just heard quite an emotional story there. When you hear about the people that you have been helping and you've made a difference to, what does that mean to you, Andy?
Well, it means everything. You know, the feedback we get every day is that the message we send out, that message of hope, is being heard. And so many people do come back to us and say what we've said has helped them. That's all we can ask for. You know, there is hope out there, so let's get people talking. 500
miles starts today. Tell us about the route, why you've chosen that route, what it represents, really.
Well, it was the route we're doing was planned for two reasons. Off the back of the first two walks, people asked us to walk down the east side of the country, so we were looking for a reason to do that. And Papyrus have given us as the reason because they've opened so many offices partly off the back of the money that we've raised. They've accelerated their expansion plans. So they've now got a lot more offices. So we're going to walk from a newly opened office here in Stirling across to Edinburgh, then down to Newcastle, where there's another newly opened office, down to Leeds, pick up Hull and finish in Norwich, or an office that's about to open. So we're just trying to point people back at Papyrus Prevention of Young Suicide and the great work they're doing.
Lovely. Thanks, Andy. Come over to Tim for a moment. The great work that, you know, Papyrus are doing. Your own experiences have led you here, haven't they? Absolutely. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, absolutely. Losing, you know, Emily, Beth and Sophie is why we're here, and lots of the people behind us have lost loved ones to suicide. And so many people didn't know about Papyrus. We, three of us, didn't know about Papyrus. So the message we can get out there is, you know, Papyrus is there to help. It runs Hopeline 247, like an emergency line that people can call, parents can call if they're concerned about their young people. We wish we'd known about that service. So the more people that know about Papyrus, the better. It will save lives.
I think they're going to know about it, aren't they?
bit of branding going on, yeah. But that's it. That's what it's about. It's about people just knowing that Papyrus is out there. So many people, so many professionals as well, that are in kind of children's mental health care don't know about Papyrus, don't know it's there. We just need to make sure that people are aware that that service is there.
It sounds like from the tape that we did that people are finding out about it. You know, you've raised more than £1 million now. How does that feel, knowing that you've been part of that change?
Well, it feels amazing. I mean, you know, we believe that we put some changes in place and there's more awareness, then families won't have to go through what our families are still going through now. You know, and that's very much what drives us. You know, but wouldn't it be great if we can get Hopeline 247 known in every corner of the UK? You know, every individual, every family, every organisation, every educational facility. Wouldn't that be amazing? And for everyone to know about Papyrus Prevention of Young Suicide, and that'll save lives, and that's what drives us.
We heard in the interviews we did something similar to your experience, Mike, being pushed to the edge of suicide yourself because of the ripple effect. How important is it, do you think, that people know about that?
This is what happens after suicide. The ripple effect affects so many. You don't just lose that one person. You know, it changes lives. You know, and you know, if we can keep those who are struggling, those in crisis, we can give them a second chance. Because we hear this story so many times now of people being in crisis, but are now living lives they want to live, and because they're still here now, their families are protected. You know, their families have them still in their lives and they don't have to go through this terrible grief.
Why do you keep walking?
Well, we're too old to run. You know, it is the honest truth. It drives us. It gives us a point. It gives us a reason. You know, we're very much a team. We didn't know each other before we started walking. You know, we don't always get on, do we? No, we do, and we manage to laugh along the way. You know, and whatever, and that's part of the hope, isn't it? You know, we keep walking because we believe in what we do.
Just touched on there, you don't fall out all of the time, but I hear that there was a bit of noise last night.
Yeah, somebody was snoring and it wasn't Mike. Oh, I can hear it, and it was in a separate room.
It was Fiona.
Can't blame Andy's wife for that.
and there will be times when we have to share a room. Sometimes even a
We're
bed.
looking forward to that.
Not with you.
But Andy did provide some earplugs for us all, didn't you?
How thoughtful was that?
Very thoughtful.
Because we have to remember, don't we, that you do this all because people put you up along that 500-mile route all the way.
Yeah, the kindness of people is absolutely amazing, and we couldn't do it if it wasn't for that. You know, we get fed absolutely brilliantly, don't we? But the conversations we have as well are so important. It's you know, these are incredible experiences, these walks.
Hazel, I'm just going to quickly grab you over here, and we're going to start. Let's get the guy. Come towards me, Hazel. We're going to get the guys to slowly walk towards the line, if we could.
That line.
So come and join us, everybody. We're going to just slowly get you over here. Hazel, what does it mean to you to see the guys doing this?
It's fascinating. It's very humbling, actually, to see you all going again and to see everybody here to support them. People who've just turned up today. It's just wonderful. I think it's
Right.
great.
Well, without further ado, 500 miles, Walk of Hope. Andy, Mike and Tim, good luck. Off you go.
Thanks, Alison.
So, Hazel, we're going to see them walking off now.
We are.
What do you make of it?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's very motivating, actually, for all of us who work in this field to see this and the level of support that they're getting. And it's all about raising awareness of suicide prevention or the prevalence of suicide amongst young people. But it's also giving hope, and it's like something can be done about it if we talk about it. The more we talk about it, the more we make it normal, and that is what's going to stop suicide from being the biggest killer of young people in our country today.
Hazel, thank you so much. So that's it. 500 miles across the country. Off they go. Back to you, Sally and John.
Ah, it's brilliant. They're such good blokes, aren't they? Mike, Andy and Tim, we are with you. We need a bit of the Proclaimers, don't we? 500 miles from Scotland.
I'm sure that's not the first time that's been suggested to them,
I think they might be
John.
singing it along the way.
Yeah.
From Stirling, they go through Edinburgh, Newcastle, Durham, Leeds and Hull, and then they finish in Norwich on the 11th of May. We'll catch up with them along the way.
And we have followed them, haven't we, on every step of the way as far as they've gone so far already. They are the most incredible men doing something extraordinary that's part of their lives through no choice. Like, they're ordinary people just doing something extraordinary and keeping going the whole time and inspiring people along the way.
And inspiring one another. That's what I love, that bond that's brought them together. Terrible bond, what they've all been through, but that connection is really special. And of course, if you've been affected by any of the issues that the three dads were talking about that we've raised this morning, help and support is always available. There's links on the BBC Action Line website there to charities and organisations that can give you a hand.